Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Small Business Success Talk. I am your host, Christy Smallwood, and this time I want to welcome you to Christy's Corner of Small Business Success Talk. There are going to be multiple times throughout the year that I will do these one-offs that is just me and you. That's it, just me and you. There's going to be a growth of, well, yeah, it is a growth. It's an evolution of what the show looks like, is, and does, because the evolution is going to go into some really big ideas that I have, but it's going to take us a bit to get there. So I'm not going to spoil the surprise. In the meantime, there's going to be some episodes where it's going to be just me. There'll be some episodes where we're going to spotlight that business owner, because I really love to get to know these small business owners who are doing it, making it, and doing it from the heart. They're not in it to make the millions of dollars. That's nice. Let's make no mistake. We all like to make money, but that's not the thing that gets them up every single day to go do it. It's because they really enjoy what they do. I love spotlighting those small business owners. So go check out my previous episodes of amazing people that are out there doing it. Next up, marketing mavens. Now we've had some things going on between all four of us, and so it's hard to get us all four in the same room at the same time. But ideally, we're going to have us at least 4 times a year, 3 to 4 times a year. You'll see the marketing mavens get together and really dive into some marketing specific stuff. And then this summer, working on all of my interviews now and putting together Summer of Strategy. Because if you have not heard by now through these episodes, working strategy is my favorite thing to do. It allows you to think bigger and different and be innovative, be resourceful, but think in terms of how can we do things better? Where are we really going with it? And what needs to change? Like, how do we do change on purpose instead of letting shit just happen to us? We make shit happen on purpose. I love being a strategic thinker. I love helping other people think strategically. So that's the whole point of the Summer of Strategy. But in the meantime, whenever I want to be able to be as consistent as possible for those of you who show up consistently with me in these episodes. And so I'm now just calling those single episodes where it's just me and you as Christy's Corner. This will be fun. It's always fun. I know there are times that I ramble and it's entertaining for you, but there is always some valuable learning lesson in there. And today is no different. I have part of my planning for the year. I took a business master class with Darren Hardy early May. And part of that homework process is, as you have ideas, you put them out and you color code them. And so now my ideas are on a whole door over here and they're color coded. And part of my content ideas, when I'm messaging, not necessarily just content, but when I'm using terms of when I talk to my clients or people who are potential prospects out there, how do I resonate with them? What do I say to get them to want to talk to me more and or not talk to me? How do we really weed out the ones we don't want to work with quickly? And there are times that I have wanted to say certain things, but I hold back because I really am professional. I make it a point to, in my conversations with people, my responses, not reactions, that I am as professional as possible, as I can muster up in that moment. Whether I have enough energy or not, I make sure I try to be as tactful and as sometimes merciful as possible. What I want to say, though, are things like, don't make me use you as an example of what not to do. So that's what today is, because part of what I'm actually in the process right now is there's been a lot of growth in my own businesses around here, which is fantastic, but I need to make sure I take a step back to look at systems, processes, people. Do I have everything in place that we all need to best serve our clients and make sure our clients are successful, and in the process, make sure that we're successful in doing it and not, burning the candle at both ends or missing details or, all of the basic stuff. So in the process of that, I have my whiteboard if you haven't been around here for a while, I love whiteboards too. It's a big thing about organizational supplies. Anyway, on my whiteboard, which is, if you're seeing this on video, I'm actually looking at it over here. The one of the things that I realize, I'm like, the whole point of the activity that I put out in my marketing is to create conversation. And thank you, Daryl Sweeney, friend of mine. Go catch that episode. That's one of the things that really got me narrowed down to, like, what is the point of doing my marketing? I need to create these conversations so that I know where you fit in my sphere of influence, for one. And then, are you a potential new customer for me at some point, a new client? Or do I need to help you find somebody for your sphere of influence that you need as a resource to be able to get something accomplished? So to get to that point, to have a conversation, I need to be able to be really good at creating conversations. Now, in some aspects, I am, and I say that tongue in cheek, and I chuckle when I say it, because if you're not local to me, you miss out on some of those, and I'm air quote, Christy time moments that some people are just like, oh my God, what are you thinking? Why did that just come out of your mouth? Or that was brilliant. It depends on if you feel convicted or not in that moment. I don't know. Or if it just hits you just right. Sometimes things just land well. I need to be able to create conversations consistently. Now let's add that on. I can create good conversation. As you have experience with these interviews, I love to talk to people. But how do I consistently create the conversations? Well, looking at my own systems, I'm like, oh, I'm missing the email part. I'm missing consistent emails. It's hit or miss, and I don't like to hit or miss. Now we need to make it consistent. So I'm going to work with my team on all of the tools that I need, and what do they need from me, and how do we get this set up so it's a lot more automated. Now, we all know there are plenty of options out there for automation of pretty much anything in our life. I have sensory overload trying to decide what's the best one. When I started doing all of this stuff, I landed into MailChimp, and I just stayed there because it's what I knew. I felt comfortable, even with all their upgrade. Like, I already had enough to learn every time they update stuff, let alone go out and find another platform to have to check it out. So I have now used MailChimp and Constant Contact. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Active Campaign. So if you haven't used Active Campaign, this particular episode is brought to you by Active Campaign. So are you looking for a way to grow your business? If so, you really need to check out Active Campaign. This is a powerful marketing automation platform, and it can help increase your sales, improve your customer service, and build stronger relationships with your customers, which is something we all want. With Active Campaign, you can create and send email campaigns. Wink, wink. Back to me. Manage your leads and customers. Create landing pages, which is one of those things that on my board that I want that integrated. I'm so looking forward to this. Set up automated workflows, ding, 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 and track your results. Big time. All in one approachable platform. It's no wonder Active Campaign has over 10,000 5-star reviews on G2 from happy users. So, for example, Preview Me is a B2B software company that uses Active Campaign to send their prospective customers highly visual and personalized emails as they progress through the CRM stages, such as, completing a demo, which has increased their click-through rates 96% while reducing 50% of their admin time sending off these one-off emails. Or maybe you're a consumer brand. Is marketing automation for you? You bet. So the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago integrates Salesforce with Active Campaign to automate a thank you email to those who visit the museum, and in doing so, shares a form to gather their feedback. That then automatically triggers follow-up messages based on the feedback they receive, including returning to the museum for another visit. Huh, awesome. If you are serious about growing your business, then you need to check out Active Campaign. Try it today for free and see how it helps you to achieve your goals. I know that's one of the things we're going to be checking out because it looks amazing and I can't wait to get started. So, with that, there's a lot of tools out there. Highly recommend Active Campaign for that. Please go check them out. Try them for free. So, knowing that I need email consistency in my own um in my own business, I'm over here like, okay, well, let's work with the team and let's figure out what we need to do next. In the process of that, remember I said I'd love to be able to tell people, don't make me use you as an example of what not to do. So I just received an email. Like I'm doing this process literally today, and I get an email today that has I'm not going to tell you who, I'm not even going to show it. I'm going to describe it to you. Obviously, because if you're listening, you can't see it anyway. But the message is, Christy, someone leaked a video of our conversation. Check it out. And it has a GIF in there of this young man who is clearly talking to a brick wall. The brick wall has the word you on it, YOU. And then the young man has the word me, ME, meaning, like, I make no mistake, you want a brick wall? I can be a brick wall. So, was I okay with receiving this message? And right under it, of course, in smaller text, like this GIF takes up the entire email visual, right? Underneath that, it says, jokes aside, did you have time to review the video I sent in my previous email? And I'm thinking, what kind of email did you send? Now, understand too, I have a sidekick. She's my sidekick. She's my VA, and she goes through my emails. If it's not something that I really need to deal with, then I don't have to respond to that. She takes care of things. And so apparently in this email thread, there's like 5 emails from this person who is reaching out because I guess the original one is, I wanted to reach out because I thought you might be interested in a strategy that helped us scale our coaching practice to $88,000 a month. Mind if I send a 1 to 2 minute video or half-minute video? It's either 1 to 2 or a half minute. I don't know. Showing you how it works. And I'm like, no. First of all, so the original reach out. So let's break this down. The original reach out, while money sounds great, I don't need my coaching practice to be at $88,000 a month in whatever strategy you are showing me. You do not know my coaching practice, and every coaching practice is different. Now, I totally understand that there's some automated ways and products and programs that I can put into an automated system where people can tap into that video program 24/7. I don't have to be there for that. At the same time, that is not my philosophy in coaching. Now, in training, that's different. That's a whole different ballgame. But if you're telling me that I can scale my coaching practice to $88,000 a month, yeah, you don't have what I need. So then the next one is, I don't know if my last email was received, but here's the video I talked about, and it can click through. And he looks to be like, 10 years old or something. I don't know. And that's totally my Gen X coming out. I'm sure he might be in his mid-20s, and I'm sure that he's made hundreds of thousands of dollars automating all of the shit online. Good for you. Hopefully you're managing your money well. And you have a great site and a solid online presence. First of all, I do not have a great site. I don't. I know. I'm not stupid. I'm a marketing person. I know where I'm faulty. Solid online presence, sure. And I'm confident we can help you get even more clients on a performance-based model, meaning if you don't get clients, we don't get paid. Now, just some small business people, that might sound like, that sounds great. But as every small business probably has experienced by now, that if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And of course, we've already helped 1,500 coaches and consultants, and I'd love to walk you through how our system works. Would you be open to throwing some bones on Thursday or Friday? By the way, we are not a lead gen agency. Throw in some bones. Dude, if you checked anything out about me at all, you would know phraseology like that does nothing to entice me. So watch for slang, verbiage, things like that. And then don't be attacking me. Like if you really want my business, do not attack me. And that's exactly what his follow-up was. And oh yeah, because the original message had been deleted. So now he's showing back up in my system again. Good for you there, buddy. Anyway, of the whole what not to do things, and I've done these kinds of messages before. Usually it's just a quick little video and I throw them on LinkedIn. But this is one of those things that you might want to watch. This is all automated. I know this young man has not sat there and personally wrote out this message to me, Christy, as as an owner of multiple businesses and a professional speaker and somebody with a show, and I have a decent amount of influence, not huge, but enough to be able to look at somebody and say, you don't want to work with that. I also have 30-ish years of marketing and business experience. This was poorly done in the copy. So I don't mind a conversational style. Don't mind that at all. I would much prefer somebody just kind of get to the point in your email. What is it that you think I need from you? But if you knew me at all, you would know that that's not what it is. Now, to the credit, you've gotten my email and now it's a numbers game because you don't know me. So this method does work with apparently 1,500 other coaches, but it ain't going to work with me because I'm not just a coach. I'm a strategist and a business owner. I do marketing. I train. I'm all in this communication stuff. This is not my first goat roping at all on these things. What I would recommend for something like this, while the automation is fantastic, it's happened on a consistent basis. I like that there's, quick click throughs, having the animation of a GIF in here, you click it through, it's going to go to that video. There's a lot of things that does work in here. And so when you're using a platform like ActiveCampaign, be able to do those things that make it visually appealing in the email so that people like me, like you're going to get to the point, but then you have something visually appealing. Oh, I might actually click through to that because I like it broken up in the sensory in which I'm looking at the screen. When you're looking at all of these different, it's not just putting together an email to see what happens. It's what is the experience of opening up that email that you want that person on the other end to have. If you know your audience really, really well, I'm not his audience. That's clear to me because this is an example of what not to do. But if he knew that I was not his audience, I would never have gotten the email. But let's just, for shits and giggles, say I am his audience, and I would have responded a little differently on the front end. If you really know your audience well, you would know what slang would work. Right. So for all of my Gen Xers out there, we have a certain kind of language we can use. What's up? Totally get away with that with the Gen Xer. Probably not in the most professional way, but if I'm emailing a buddy or whatever, Gen Xers have our own language. We have our own references. We have things that we can, it's the inside joke of things. We can use those to our advantage when it comes to writing copy if that's the person we know we're talking to. If we're playing the numbers game, we're going to have more than a handful of people who are not in that particular target saying, I don't understand what you're just at. I don't, what's a cassette? I don't know what that means. So what's a landline? There's so many references. Pay attention to how you are talking to your potential client, and you need to know them really well so that even in an email, the approach doesn't come across as disruptive and offensive. And a cold reach out is going to be disruptive anyway, You're going to be interrupting my day. How can you interrupt my day in a pleasant way? And if you think about things like that, that'll go a long way in creating those cold reach outs, because I personally hate to do cold reach outs. Hate them. They're so uncomfortable and awkward. And like, I don't like to interrupt people mainly because I don't like to be interrupted. So how do I manage this? Well, I don't have a magic bullet, but for me, it's making sure I'm talking to my very particular target audience, and back to cleaning up my emails and making them consistent. Again, this is where my gap is, because if I would have my contacts segmented correctly, I know, and this is definitely different than most people, I know a good 80-90% of my contacts personally. I've met them. I know what groups they're in. I know about them. I can determine if they're a Gen X or not. So I can have that field in my system, and I can do just Gen X conversations. And then I can also, separate them out into prospective leads. Like, would they be ideal business? Do they work in ideal businesses that would be a good fit for what I have as a service? So really diving into your best buyer and knowing them is going to go a long way in creating better content, better reach outs, better copy for the reach outs in those emails. Because what this little fella did was just get used as an example of what not to do for somebody like me. Ugh. Now, and then flip side of that is finding the best platform that makes everything efficient. Again, go check out ActiveCampaign, see what that can do for your business, and check us out again on the next episode of Small Business Success Talk. Thank you so much for your time today in Christy's Corner of Small Business Success Talk. I'll see you again on the next episode.